I've got the Jeep I've got the Jeep jacked up. Welcome back. Today working on a 2000 Jeep Wrangler, and it's for a friend of mine, and we're just going to throw a rear pinion seal in real quick, so should be a pretty quick deal. We'll just get under there and get after it and get going. So as you can see, this one's leaking pretty good. It's all wet down the rear end there, just dripping right out of the pinion seal. It's clean right there, so we know that's where it's coming from. So we'll pop this driveline off, pop the yoke, get the seal off, clean it up, put the new one in. Should be pretty easy. All right, so these take an 8mm socket. This is the proper way to push on a ratchet. Palm, don't stick your hands around it because it slips off. Bam. Use your palm. If it slips off, just the palm of your hand going against that instead of your knuckles. Once it's loose, you can, where you're not reaching on it. I try to choke up on it to get away from that. It's a sharp edge there, so keep it from busting your knuckles. Not that I haven't done it a million times. Okay, now we should be able to get a socket on that with an air gun. Pop that off. This cute little guy. There's a cute little driveline. Drain pan under there. All right, the pinion nut is 1 1/8. Okay. It wasn't out of oil, so that's good. Doesn't seem to be too grooved, so that's good. Come on. There. All right, there's the old seal. It's definitely full oil. correct. So you always want to take your seals, do a comparison. This is the right one. It looks identical. I've got the Jeep I've got the Jeep jacked up level. So when I put oil back in the rear end, it's level instead of sitting downhill in the nose like I had it. So it's jacked up off the ground, sitting pretty level. So I'm gonna clean up the parts real quick. And it's hot in here, it's about 85 degrees outside. I'm gonna clean up the parts real quick and then we'll put that seal back in. So should go pretty fast. I'm gonna clean up the parts here on my little wire wheel and then we'll just put everything back together. So you wanna take some brake cleaner, clean all this up, get it dried off. So I'm gonna spray it with brake cleaner, then I'll scrape it with a scraper. Get all that nasty goo off there. Then we'll clean this surface out around where the seal goes. We'll get the seal glued back in with some silicone and put it back together. So I like to take a little bit of sandpaper, just kind of clean up the surface. I went around the yoke here with sandpaper, cleaned it up, make sure there wasn't anything that was going to tear the new seal. Just take a little bit, stick it down in there, kind of get anything out that's going to let it leak. I want it pretty clean. Just don't want it to leak anymore. Take our rag with brake clean on it. Wipe it out. Real good. I think our new seal is ready to go in. So this is our new seal, nice and new. Got a little oil on it from checking it with the other seal. I'm going to put a little bit of silicone around this surface and we'll pop it in there. Alright, we'll put a little silicone on her. Doesn't take very much. That's probably plenty. Just take a finger and smear it around there. All right, then. That's in. Clean that silicone off the outside. Alright, and then you want to put a little grease on this surface. Doesn't take much, just a little. Just take it, wipe it around. Just keeps the lip of the seal from catching and ripping. Now, if I did this right. Ish. A little bit of orange thread lock on the pinion nut. There we go. Start the nut back on. Okay, that's tight. Now, you can see these are a little rusty looking, these caps on the U-joint. I'll take that sandpaper there and clean those up before I put them back on. I throw a little grease in them too. Okay, we're ready to put the driveline back on. Should be able to set it wherever we want it. Just make sure the caps go back in these little dealies here. Okay. There's little nubs sticking out right there. The cap has to be down inside that. So you want to make sure that goes in good. Okay, now we're ready to put the bolts back in. So what you'll notice here is these have a blue streak around them right there. That's thread locker from the factory. We want to put a little bit of thread locker back on these. I don't have blue, but I have orange, which is the next step up. It's actually a little more tight than blue. But you want to make sure you thread lock them so they don't come loose. A little dab will do ya. Stick it through, drop it a couple times, just for good measure. Tighten them up. up snug, and we'll get them all four of them tight or snug, and then we'll go around and tighten them all. Make sure everything's going to lay in like it should. Okay, now that they're snug, I'll go ahead and get them tight. You don't want to over tighten these. I go around and check them all. Make sure they're all tight, because you don't want to lose a drive line while you're driving either. It'll tear some important stuff out. Tight, 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 tight. All right, that's it for this end. Take and clean that extra grease out, just so it doesn't fling all over. And we'll go add some oil. So we're back here now. We're going to add some oil, and I'm going to clean this off. This is all from that leak that we had, so I'll clean that off. Then we'll add some oil. We're just going to put 80/90 gear oil in it. That smells like, looks like what was in it, so that's what we're going to go with. And according to the interweb, that's what's in there. So it's got a little rubber plug right there. We'll just pop that out. We'll fill it until it starts running out, and then it's full. But I'll clean that off there first. Use our handy dandy scraper. Just kind of get this stuff cleaned off. Get it dried back up again so you can tell if it's leaking somewhere else or there. Or nice thing about brake cleaner is it dries it even dries oil out. So if you got a leak like this, you can get the bulk of the oil scraped off and then brake clean it, put brake cleaner on. It'll actually dry it, and then you can see where, if it's wet again, you can kind of see where things are leaking. But anyway, I like brake cleaner. It's not flammable. It is flammable, but not as bad as like starting fluid or carb cleaner. It seems to work everywhere I try it. So we'll get this somewhat cleaned off. Just get the big chunks off. Brake cleaner it good. We just want it to dry up so that next inspection will show if it's leaking again or not. Some I missed up there. Get it as clean as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Pull this plug out. Maybe I have to do it with my scraper. There we go. It's just got a little rubber plug. That's all that's in there, instead of a actual pipe plug. Okay, so you can tell, you can stick your finger in here like that. There's no oil on my finger. So I've got a little pump here. And you just go until it starts running out of that hole. jug isn't empty. I have to fill my pump jug back up. Okay. Be back in the chips now. Oh yeah. Okay, now we're full. You can see it's running out. It just keeps running. Means it's full. You can also check with your finger. It's full. Oil on my finger. Put the handy dandy plug back in. Clean that off, dry it off. Ew. Stop it. Try to get it pretty clean. Now it's dry and clean. That's putting a pinion seal in a rear axle of a 2000 Jeep Wrangler. Okay, take it for a test drive. Nice and dry. Looks like a win. Nothing's leaking. So yeah, you can still hear that muffler popping. It's hot. So yeah, we went for test drive, probably about 2.5, 3 miles. It's a hot day, so everything's warm anyway. And yeah, she's dry. That's a win. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next video. Have a good day.